second video of It Happened on Halloween series for the month of October. This series is to highlight some of the cases that happened on Halloween, but they are true crime cases. So in my opinion, they're scarier than the scariest movie that you could watch. This are sick minds and horrible cases that really belong in a big screen and not in real life. So, again, it started on Halloween when Leslie was giving out candy with her roommates. But let me introduce you to the roommates. Leslie Mazzara was originally from South Carolina, and she was a former beauty queen, Miss Williamson. She was not only pretty, but she was described as someone that would lift your spirit up. She was happy, she was outgoing, she was charismatic. And in the year 2004, she moved from South Carolina to the Napa Valley, California. She got a job in a nearby winery in Rutherford. During the summer, Leslie moved in with a couple of other girls, Adriane Insogna and Lauren Meanza, who rented a house together on Dorset Street, and they really needed a third roommate to split the rent. Now, Adriane Insogna was a competitive volleyball player, very strong and determined. When she was 16 years old, she nearly died in a car accident. It was a close call, but she managed to survive and was left with short-term memory loss and difficulty reading. However, she was determined, and despite all this, she landed a college scholarship. She became a civil engineer and got a job in the Napa sanitation district right after graduation. There's somebody that's mowing the lawn. I hope that it doesn't get too loud. But if I have too many cuts, that's what it is. I can hear it. Hopefully it doesn't bother you. The girls were in their late 20s and they were sharing a home, bringing friends, and having a good old time. Now, while she was working, and I am talking about Adriane, while she was working at the Napa sanitation district, she met another friend, Lily Prudhomme. Lily didn't live with the girls. was waiting for the girls to go to bed. When everything went dark inside the house, when he was sure that the girls went to bed and everything was dark, he started to check on windows until he found an unlocked one in the kitchen, which was in the first floor. Lauren's room was in the first floor. The other two girls slept upstairs. Lauren woke up to some strange noises upstairs, but when she got out of her room, she heard a terrified scream and breaking glass. She stayed quiet, but when she heard footsteps coming down the stairs, she bolted from the house through the back door. She was sure he was coming for her, so she decided to hide in the backyard. She heard the guy climbing out of the same window he got in. Then she headed back inside the house and went to check on her friends. Leslie was face down in a pool of her own blood in the doorway of her bedroom. Adriane was crouched behind Leslie's bed, alive, but bleeding a lot. She was stabbed several times. Lauren tried to use the home phone, but it was dead. She was so scared that she grabbed her cell phone, got in her car, and left. Not sure if the guy was following her. When the police arrived at the house, Leslie was pronounced dead, and Adriane was clinging to life. Paramedics stabilized her, but she didn't make it to the hospital. Both of them were stabbed multiple times. The only survivor, Lauren, told the police that she heard the whole thing. She never saw the guy because she was too scared to look. After the murders, the police combed the scene for evidence, and for a period of almost a year, 11 months, I think I read, 1,300 people were interviewed, and they collected 218 DNA samples. On September 22nd, 2005, police released a statement saying they had a match on blood DNA evidence from the scene so the match was found in the crime scene. Let me explain it this way. And it matched the one that it was found in the cigarette butts outside. And it was a very not so popular brand of cigarettes too, which was Camel Turkish Gold. On September 27th, Eric Koppel, the friend and now husband of Adriane's friend, Lily, he turned himself in for the murders. Before going to the police, he confessed to his family and friends who went with him to the police station. He only confessed Even visiting the house as frequently as he did, he had never seen her before. However, she was the one that was dead and attacked the worst. Police believe that Leslie was attacked first and that Adriane went to rescue her friend after hearing her scream. Adriane scratched and hit this guy's face, but that is how and why they had the blood sample. Police believe that eventually Mr. Couple overpowered her and eventually stabbed Adriane too. Lauren has been living with survival's guilt since that night. When in court, Mr. Couple expressed how much he regretted his actions. I mean, 2 weeks after the murders of Lily and her husband, Mr. Couples, organized a vigil for Adriane and Leslie. Lily had no idea that her husband was the one responsible for their murders. She later said in court that she knew that something was not right and that something was bothering him and that she kept asking him to say what was wrong. She even told him that she would continue to love him no matter what. She even said after the trial, and knowing that he was guilty, that she still loved him. Eric Couple was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and pleaded guilty to both. Because of him pleading guilty, he avoided the death penalty. But he was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Part of the deal was also to waive his right to appeal and his right to talk to the press about the case. Now, I don't know about this case. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever in my head why this guy would do that to these girls. Now, I don't see any kind of abuse mentioned in any of the sources where I read about this case, so it was probably not something that, he considered doing. But I don't understand why he considered going there and murder them. That part I just don't understand. If he didn't know Leslie, why would he start with her? And why was he so possessed and so brutal with her if he didn't know her? Overall, a terrible, terrible situation on a day that it should have been fun, on a day that most people wait for to celebrate and to have fun with friends. In this case, it became a terrible nightmare. And again, the beginning of the story reminds me of a scary movie from the 90s that I used to watch when I was younger. You know, kind of the Scream series, but this really happened, and it shouldn't have. Let me know if you read something about this case and you'd like to share